Hey guys, welcome to Blind Location. This is Kelly Kennedy. She is a model and a photographer out of the Bay Area, California. But we are not in California. We're actually in Marfa with an F, Texas. We're here for, field trip. Basically, in a nutshell, it's this experience that you have with other creatives, photographers, models, teachers, professionals, non-professionals, and we all come together in whatever place. This year it's Marfa, Texas, and we learn about photography. I met Kelly on one of those photo walks. She modeled for one, and then she was in another photo walk that I was in, and she was a photographer, and I was like, oh, you do both. So anyway, we connected, and here we are. I've zoomed into Marfa, Texas, and if you will do the honors, Kelly, close your eyes, hold it. Right here. We are at 300 South Austin Street. It's a 6-minute walk, so let's go. Becca Wyant is filming today. Thank you, Becca.
You're welcome.
You're great. We're here! We are right behind a parish, it looks like, which is a church. So today we're going to talk about modeling, since we have a model with us. Makes a lot of sense.
A lot of photographers will use certain terms or like phrases and different, asking you to do different things, and they have a super clear picture of what they want in their head. But that doesn't always translate. I'm not always sure what they're really interested in seeing in front of the camera. So one time I was working with this great photographer, and he just straight up asked me to do tumbler hands. I have no idea what tumbler hands are, and when I asked for a little bit more, I was like, what are tumbler hands? He gave me one of these. I don't even know what that is either.
I love that story.
It's just so important to be really clear, and definitely always ask your model, can I show you what I mean, what I'm talking about? Do you mind if I pose your arms? Just build that rapport and make it a conversation.
And another good thing to do is to kind of figure out your vocabulary with the model. So like, you have terminology that fits your style, right? I heard this one photographer give a talk, and he was like, tell your model to imagine they're standing in a tub of butter. And that sounds like, you're like, what? But the idea is the model's gonna be like, and he is gonna do something weird, and that's what he wanted for that. So he wanted something weird, but he didn't say do something weird. He said pretend you're standing in a tub of butter. So like, that's what works for him. So maybe what works for you is using words like look strong, like shoulders back. Like, think about what the model can understand and you can understand, or think about something that throws the model off, like tub of butter.
Documenting.
Oh, is it rolling?
Is it?
We're talking about communicating with your model, and one thing that's a really, really great thing to do, and I think that is important, is you have to give them feedback. Like, oh, that looks great, you're doing good. Even if you don't like the photo, give them feedback. Like, oh, I like that, but it's not working. Let's readjust this way. And she's talking about how sometimes people will come up and like physically move her arm or whatever, and she's like, well, I didn't give you permission to do that. Also, like, this is my body. Just tell me how to move it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So one thing I do, because I don't think I've ever done that unless someone really just doesn't get it. I'm like, can I help you? But usually what I do, if so, like the example you were giving, if you're doing this and you're a model and I want you to do this, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk over and be like, no, do this. I'm just gonna show you. It's super easy. All you have to do is show them. And also that language that we were talking about earlier is really helpful, because if I really had like the exact framing that I wanted for her, and so go ahead and do that again. So if like this is the setup, I'm like, oh, I don't want to move, but she's not understanding, I would think of the language I'd be like, make your left hand touch your heart and your right hand touch your shoulder. Boom, look at that. The language I used, it helped her. She was like, I know what my heart is, I know what my shoulder is, I can do that. But if I'm like closer and I'm using these ambiguous terms, she might not get it. Okay, so if I were to take a photo of you like this, click, that's nice because she's a model, but but it's a little flat. Okay, so do the exact same thing, but just kind of whip that jacket around and look into the light when you do it. We're gonna do it one more time.
Do it one more time?
Yeah, do it one more time, but when you do it, kind of look behind you. Okay, ready? Go. Boom. That looks so much cooler. Actually, let me actually take a live photo. And there you go. You can see the action of it versus that flat image that you guys saw in real time. Way more inspiring. I have a checklist, which I think I've talked about a little bit. If anyone wants it, I'll send it to you. And it's just some ideas for, like, if you ever get stumped on a shoot and you're like, oh, I can't think of anything to shoot, which happens like all the time because you're thinking of a million things. You can just refer to this checklist. And one of the things on the checklist is to ask the model what they want to do. I mean, you've been doing that the whole time, but she just gave me a really cool idea to use her jacket behind her. So we're going to do some of her ideas. Make it look like this is the studio backdrop. So I'm gonna have you run and do the classic thing where all your limbs are out.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
I like it a lot. So that about wraps things up. We talked about communicating with our model, but just communicating with your model in language that makes sense to you. So don't use words like Tumbler fingers. Don't say things that make sense, like put your hand on your heart. People know their body parts, whatever. Yeah, so that about wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching Blind Location. Kelly, do you have any feedback or anything?
Well, I had a great time. I always love shooting with people who have like a sense of direction, or they're trying to think about a perspective, and I love making it really a conversation between the photographer and the model the whole time. That's so important. But I would say, really get to know whoever you're working with, whether it's like a family portrait session or someone who's really just there for modeling. Get to know them, because that's always will build such a better relationship, and it makes the photos really come out better.
Cool, thank you. I think we got some really great photos. I'm excited for you guys to see them. Actually, here they are. Thank you guys for watching #Blind Location. I do this every week for 2019, so if you want to be a part of Blind Location, please hit me up. You can message me on Instagram, email me, call me up, whatever. Let me know that you don't have to be a model. Actually, no one I've worked with so far has been a model up until today. And that's the point, is to show that you can use any kind of space and any kind of person, and you can make a cool photo no matter where you are. Thanks for watching, guys.